Okay, so on to the next track in the Clan C 21 Pilots album, man. The very first track that we listened to today was The Craving. Now we're on to Midwest Indigo. The Craving was amazing. That video is absolutely incredible, but it's to be expected from these geniuses. This over here is Midwest Indigo. Let's rock and roll. I've already told you guys REF has been pushed to Sunday, and next week we will be continuing with the anthems for everybody. So don't stress. I've been away for the past 3 days purely because I just haven't been feeling well. I had the flu and I had a bad throat infection. So just to let you guys know. So let's get into it. 21 Pilots, Midwest Indigo. Let's see what we got. Let's go.
Did you pull up yet? Not yet! Did you forget we're tight on time?
Hey, it's Jim. Where's Jim? And he's watching this as well.
Right on time. Reaching out on my way home. You could be so good, I'll try again. You make me sad and second guess myself. You could be so good, Midwest Indigo. And I want love in sunny days. I'm a bit too old to run away. You make me sad and second guess myself. You could be so cold. You could be so cold. Midwest Indigo.
Okay, so far this is my favorite. I can't say that actually. I always struggle with that in terms of saying, oh, this is my favorite, this is my. But I'm saying for today. No, but The Craving was just as good as well. Forget about that. Forget about what I said, right? This over here is fucking amazing as well, right? I love the sound, very synthy type sound over here, which is awesome. What I'm getting from this, right, is, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like that seasonal depression that people get, and just needing a friend, right, by your side during these cold days. Essentially, it'll pass. The sun will come out. He actually shows like the sun comes out, and that's, you know, it's just. And I think he's referencing it to a certain location. So he's literally like Midwest Indigo. I mean, the word Midwest. What's the Midwest in the United States? What is it? Nebraska. Is Nebraska Midwest? I don't know. I'm not even going to try and venture a guess. But literally, he's obviously talking about a certain place, right, in the US where it kind of feels like there's a lot of cold days, right, and a lot of grey days, where he talks about the cloud cover matching his outfit to a knife, which I think that's quite fucking cool, because the way, like, the knife is grey, clouds are grey, outfit's grey, right? Because that's literally that's just his mood, essentially. And then also, if you think about a knife is as cold as steel. You know what I mean? Right? It's cold steel. So it's actually it's very clever. But anyway, let's just get into the sort of breakdown over here. I'll try my best to see if we can sort of decipher. I think there's much to decipher over here. Obviously, there's many layers when it comes to 21 Pilots, but it's a very uplifting synthy type track, which is awesome. Very anthemy as well. I love the fact that he's actually got Jim. I think is his dog's name Jim? His dog is I think his name's Jim. He's got that on like the guitar pick, which I think is fucking awesome. Like his best friend, essentially, outside of Josh. But I'm saying it's kind of also showing gratitude for, you know, the people and the animals in his life, essentially. And I also kind of like the fact that the song is called Midwest Indigo. So obviously it's a particular location in the United States, obviously the Midwest, essentially, where it can get very cold. And then sort of indigo is kind of like a dark blue or darkish blue, right? Or like a deep blue that could also play very well into it, essentially, where you feel like you have those blue days. So blue and cold kind of tying together with having those sort of like depressed days. And what I like about the way they're creating this at the moment is that sort of like the hardest of the hardest times are like past, essentially, but life continues either way, right? You're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs either way, but he's got the mechanics now to deal with that type of stuff, right? Now he can appreciate the fact that there are good days and there are bad days, right? And that's okay. You go through the waves, essentially. Anyway, let's go. So over there where he says you make me second guess myself, it's kind of like that. It's like you'll be sprouty and you'll have a spring in your step the day before because the sun is out, and then the cloud cover comes and it's grey and your mood sort of like dips. And it's kind of like it starts second guessing yourself. You start playing with your mindset again, and then again those insecurities sort of like come out. So now he's sitting on top of like this this ice slab over there, wearing just a t-shirt and obviously exposing his insecurities over there. Essentially, I love the whole sort of very humble attire that he's wearing over here. It's kind of actually probably Midwesty if you have to sort of think about that kind of very sort of blue collar worker type vibe, which I like. You know, I like that. Anyway, so immediately making that relatable to the everyday person. Very cool.
Reaching out on my way home. You've been so good, I'll try again. You make me sad and second guess myself. You've been so good, Midwest Indigo. Running late, so I didn't have the time.
This track is fucking awesome.
Frosted windshield like my belly scraping by. Concentrate on the little gap in the ice.
What did he say there with the windshield and belly scraping?
Have the time. Scrape the frosted windshield like my belly scraping by.
That's a fire. When I scrape the windshield and barely scrape, or when I'm defrost the windshield and barely scraping by. Fucking cool, right? Because everything's sort of frozen. Kind of that what he feels like he's in that sort of position as well, mentally and from his mood specifically. But sort of like defrosting that cold is barely scraping by, where you'd scrape the ice off the fucking windshield, right? But like barely scraping by in terms of how he feels, essentially. Very fucking cool. Could also play into barely scraping by sort of financially as well, if you're relating this to the sort of everyday common man.
scraping by. Concentrate on the little gap in the ice. Seems to be about as wide as our chances. Did you pull up yet? Not yet. Did you forget we're tight on time? Reaching out on my way home. Could be so
I dig it. The two is two breaths, so he literally, that phone call's fucking fire. It's like, listen, I'm feeling a little fucking low. You know, did you pull up? You call a mate. Like, all you really want is just, you want some company or some companionship, right? And it's just to go there and sort of like clear your mind and just do cool shit and whatever else. And like the two of his best friends arrive, which is Josh and Jim, his dog, essentially. So they kind of like, they pick him up, which kind of like gives him a lift up, right? They pick him up, essentially, which I think is also a very cool play on that in terms of like that metaphor, right? They are his pick me up, essentially. So I think that's very fucking cool. Hey, what happened? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Wait a second. What the fuck am I doing here, man? Do this again. Wait a second. Sorry. Because all these fucking buttons just move around on YouTube all of the fucking time. Ugh, come on, for God's sake. Ah, gosh. Anyway, carry on.
running late, so I didn't have the time. Scrape the frosted windshield like my belly scraping by. Concentrate on the little gap in the ice. Seems to be about as wide as our chances. Did you pull up yet? Not yet. Did you forget we're tight on time? Reaching out.
The gun is so cute, though.
Could be so good, I'll try again. You make me sad and second guess myself. Could be so good, Midwest Indigo. Cloud coverage match my outfit to a night.
I don't know. I don't know if he actually lives in the Midwest. He could live in the Midwest and he could literally just be referencing those sort of days, those cold days, essentially. So I think he might live there. For those of you who know where he lives, just let me know. Does he live in the Midwest?
Cloud coverage match my outfit to a knife.
Brilliant line.
I requested counsel with the counselor and he canceled twice. It's a different blue.
I like that. It's very, very clever with the cloud cover, essentially, because that's what it feels like. It just feels like you got a grey cloud over your head, right? And then it's kind of like I requested counsel with the counselor and he declined twice, essentially, right? Now, I'm not entirely sure in terms of who he's talking about, sort of the counselor, if it's something that is in his head or he's literally just talking about a physiotherapist, essentially, where it kind of like almost makes it feel like, okay, I think he's declining because I feel you're a little bit neurotic. It's just a grey day. Right? You don't really need a counselor. All you need is you just need a bit of company from a good friend. Do you know what I mean? On these kind of days, essentially. Not everything needs to be a therapy treatment. Anyway, carry on.
It's a different blue, it's deeper than it's been. I'll be pulling into the parking lot before the heat kicks in.
See, so that is how much he plays in his own head. That is how much he sort of like how much his anxiety sort of affects him, essentially, right? Where he's literally doing things before the time as well. So it's almost like he's looking into the future and planning ahead of time purely because of his anxiousness, purely because of his anxiety and things like that, right? This over here is a very clever thing that they do over here.
The heat kicks in. What's your ETA? 2 minutes. Chill out, man, we're right on time.
So this is sick, where it's like, what is your ETA? 2 minutes, chill out, man, we're right on time. That chill out, man, we're right on time is kind of like literally saying that's the therapy session in itself, essentially, where he says it's like, it's okay, everything is as it should be, essentially. Do you know what I mean? Like, stop being so neurotic, stop trying to think ahead. It's like he wanted to be at that appointment before the appointment even started. So he's literally asking, like, what's your ETA? Like, when are you arriving? Because he just so desperately needs kind of like a way out from his mental sort of like fog, right? And then it's just like, listen, just chill. Just chill. Not everything. Just because there's a bit of cloud cover doesn't mean that there's a storm. Do you know what I mean? And the problem is that comes from past trauma, that comes from past storms, right? Past very deep cloud cover that took you years to get out of, right? So it kind of like you will sort of regress a little bit, even after through all that work, right? You will have those days where it kind of feels like you're backsliding, kind of feels like you're slipping a little bit, right? But you've got the people who are most important to you, who are by your side, right? That will immediately sort of like make you appreciate what you once have again. But the thing is, because he's gone through all of this, he's seen the very darkest of sides. He just knows that this is a grey day, and I know that you can get very sort of like you can get nervous that, okay, well, wait a second, why? It's just there are grey days, there are good days. This is just the way life is, essentially.
We're right on time, reaching out on my way home. I've been so cold, I'll try again.
I love the fact that everyone that's giving him those calming words are his like closest people, like that over there. Don't worry, it's right on time. His wife says that. Do you know what I mean? Because his wife means a hell of a lot to him as well. This got a very Vessel type feel for me as well, if I'm not mistaken. Would it be Vessel? Vessel, I think it is. I think it is that type of sound, essentially. Anyway, it's got like a Vessel-y type sound. Anyway, Kara.
You make me sad and second guess myself. You can be so cold, Midwest Indigo. I want love in sunny days. I'm a bit too old to run away.
Fire. So this is very cool. I want love in sunny days because I'm a bit too old to run away, essentially. Because when he was younger, right, and he didn't get love and he didn't get sunny days, he would actually retreat. He would run away. He would run away from his problems, right? But now what he's saying is, I'm too old to run away from this. I'm too old to run away from my responsibilities, not only to my family, but also to myself. Right, so that's why what I'm really looking for is for love and sunny days. That's really what I'm looking for. I'm not going to get that all of the time, but even if I don't get that, I'm not going to run away from it. And that actually makes it sort of like it weighs heavier on me, right? Because I sort of can't run away. Although running away eventually has its own sort of downfalls as well. But he's saying I'm too old to run away. Right, I've got too many responsibilities to my family. I've got too many responsibilities to sort of myself, essentially. So I would prefer that things just stay as sort of like an even kill, and that I prefer that things just stay sunny. But I know that it's not going to be like that. But when there is no sun at the end of the day, right, I still do have my support network, which is my wife, which is my best friend Josh, and then also for the lovey fuzzly cuddly Jim as well, essentially. And that entire thing, and his kids and all of that, kind of like that entire world, right, kind of makes the cold Midwest Indigo blues dissipate for him. The sun comes out because of them, because I think that's what he's saying. Anyway, carry on.
To run away, you make me sad and second guess myself. You can be so cold.
Him rolling around on the snow as cold as it is just ride it. Just ride it out, man. It is what it is, essentially. Stop trying to consistently keep your footing. Stop trying to consistently be worried about sort of like what's your next step and whatever. But if you slip, just ride with it. Do you know what I mean? It literally just is what it is, right? Seasonal depression. Do you know what I mean? If you're having the bad day, have the bad day. Right? And if you're seeking comfort from a loved one on those days, seek the comfort of a loved one on those days. Don't overblow it, right? To make it bigger than what it is, essentially. He did that when he was younger. And because he did that, he ran away from not only himself, he ran away from the people closest to him. Now, he's responsible now. He doesn't do that anymore, right? He sticks around and just appreciates the fact that when these days roll about, right? These cold days roll about, we just ride with it, man. That's all we can do. Let's go. Must be cold as fuck on that ice, though. Must be cold. He's just lying on that ice. Must be freezing. Super sick. Really, really like this song. Really like this song. This probably will be one of my favorite songs on the album, right? But I love this. Very uplifting track. Very cool. You guys let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.